sucks.
That is a large die. And welcome to session 13 of Dreamers of Kiriak. We are once more joined by Jordan and also by Aaron now for the third day is what you've been here. And Stephanie and George. We are unfortunately once more no longer joined by Eric. Rip Eric. He's still alive.
No, he's not.
Nope.
Last session was interesting, and I can remember about half of it.
That's pretty good.
As Jordan was gone, the players, they continued their journey from the town of Vosarl, represented partially by this little map sign that says on fire, yo. And they have gone to the town or the city of Bolavi, which is a relatively smallish city. I believe it's about 100,000 people. I say because I did the demographics of it before we played. So it, for some reason, uncannily has exactly 100,000 people in it now that you guys are there. Potentially, yes.
Does it have a significant horse population?
The horse represents the party's traveling.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Horse was extremely important to that. and the party traveled during the night of the full moon, unfortunately, which resulted in them resting in a cave and then a big old skinless giant man coming and attacking them inside the cave. He opened his mouth and his tongue folded down into a set of stairs and little soldiers marched out. And the party killed him and his snakes and his other little people. And then they got up the next morning and continued traveling, made it to place's name, I again can't remember, Bolavi. That sounds like it could be one of the name of any number of languages. And so Goras immediately heard the music and was like, well, logically, the music is there, so we must also transport ourselves in that direction. And so he went. The rest of the party kind of tried to track him, but it didn't work because he was just too slippery. And so they found an inn, I believe. I don't remember if you guys sought out the inn or if somebody told you to go there. I think you guys just found the best inn that you could. And you got some rooms. And in one of those rooms, there was a dragonborn man in armor, and who was Nine, because Nine is an agent of the cult of Ost, this cult, who has been, making many prophecies over the years, claiming that Ost is going to return and reign over the world. They say once more, but he never really reigned over the world previously. He was, their theology is very complex. The cult's is significantly less complex. So they were very surprised that, the seers that they've been setting aside for generations, one of them suddenly gets possessed by Ost. And it's like, I love what you guys did to the place. You're a little confused, but you got the spirit. And now what I need you to do is have someone go to this place at this time and meet my boys. And then the person's head exploded. And so Nine was told to go to this room and to give some commands to some people. The abbess, or whatever we're calling her, she told Nine, you'll know them when you see them. That was the wrong thing to say to Nine. And so Asha opened the door to the room and was like, logically, this armored dragonborn is the nanny, so she left the orphans with him. Hours passed. She locked the door behind her because she didn't want him to get out. There was some lizard calling, there was some slapping.
He almost killed an orphan.
A rat told Nine, these are the people you're supposed to find, dumbass, and then its head exploded. That was pretty much where we left off.
We dragged them through the sewer.
Yes, you dragged them through the sewer. And there was an...
Yeah, we got to the cult.
Yes,
cult house.
you got into the cult, and everybody had to put on... Everybody who had on monster hunting amulets, which you didn't because you had given yours to...
Antonin.
Antonin, yes. I was thinking Garfield, and I was immediately thinking that's not right.
That makes sense.
you gave it to Antonin, and he evaporated with them. And so you didn't have to give up your amulet. Other people had to give up theirs and just kind of toss them away because according to the cult, these are devices that allow the monster hunters to listen to and watch your every move. And you were all given amulets of protection from scrying. If I remember right. If I didn't give you guys those, then I meant to give you guys those. That was supposed to be one of the...
Yeah, we got them.
You didn't. Excuse me. Nine doesn't need one, apparently. Everybody else had to get them. The cult stipulates you have to wear them when you're doing cult business. Because the moment that the powers that be know that they're there and what they're doing, they claim you're all going to get raided and made into barbecue.
We have something exactly the same in the last game.
Did we?
To keep us from getting tracked.
Probably. It's something that pretty much everybody should have if they have any kind of enemy with any kind of leveled wizards.
Are you drinking on the job, Taylor?
This is elderberry soda. I promise, unless I don't know that it is and it is, it's not alcoholic.
The players are the ones who are supposed to be drunk, but you drove me here, so...
Yeah, that's
fine, you can drive back.
No, I can't.
You can walk back. It's like 7
you
minutes.
could. Legally.
So... Okay, I gotta find the abbess's name. She's the leader of the cult.
Not if there's a license driver.
Abbess Lizaveta. And it was the Silver Boot was the place that you guys were staying. And
Although you don't have a room.
Okay.
no, because you were non-existent. at that
We
time.
didn't know if you were going to come to that place or not, so.
I see.
You did just kind of show up at the front door, like nothing was the matter. You just knew where to find them. Like this. Yeah.
We did make an effort to find you.
They did. Yes. Like an admirable effort.
I looked at
I could not keep up with you.
We looked at a brothel.
Well, yes, we did go to a brothel hunting for you.
That was it.
A very poor effort to let you know where he was. But
They went through what?
Well, we had a couple of choices of things that were in the general area of where I lost you. We figured if you were going to be in one of them, it was going to be the brothel.
The loudest music was coming from the brothel.
Yes.
So we went to where the loudest music was, and you weren't there, so
of course,
at that point we had no idea where you might have run.
loud music interferes with the music. So we
Deepest lore.
We'll keep
So-
that in mind the next time we lose you.
At this point, I think the abbess was about to give you.
I had asked for my paycheck.
Yeah. Has she already paid you for the mission or not? I thought she did.
That
Cultists get
depends
paid
on
to be
which
cultists?
missions.
Okay, which mission? Are you for this mission in particular? She looks at you confused. She says, "No, this is all part of that one that we were talking about before, the big one. Everything from now on is that one, unless I tell you otherwise.
That seems like a raw deal.
I might need you to sign off on this because I'm getting the idea maybe you're going to just kind of leave at a very at a very delicate moment and be like, where's my paycheck? Because you've done that before, and we were able to save everybody, but I'd really like it to not have to happen again."
So Asha, now that we're outside of the inn, do we have to pay the nanny?
But
Well, it depends on how good a job he
he's
does,
not
I suppose.
qualified for childcare. He has quite a lot of trauma.
He's got experience in childcare. He's fine.
No, that's not acceptable. I'm sorry. If you need a nanny, we'll find you another nanny. We have.
Don't you tell me what to do
We
with
have
my
some
orphans,
people-
woman.
She seems completely taken aback by this.
I'll let it slide.
I would like you to sign this though.
Can we just leave the orphans with the
It just says,
cultists?
"I
They're all
promise
safe.
not to leave until I'm told I can go."
That seems like the
No,
safest
no, no,
thing.
no.
What do we have to do to ensure that you're not going to walk off on the job?
He's good at catching lizards, though, in case he gets out of hand.
This is the single
They
most
didn't tell us that slow.
vital
They're back at the
sequence of events
hotel with an actual name.
in likely the entire history of our organization. I need to be sure you're going to do what is needed.
But that would be indentured servitude.
No,
Not leaving until I'm told
Hey.
I can.
Is there another way we can put it?
I think you need a lawyer.
She calls the law mage.
It's a law mage. Why does the cult have a law mage?
Because they're an
Situations like
organization.
this.
They legally have a museum upstairs. People sue them because they take their precious artifacts.
Oh, they have clockwork sorcerer? Plane of order?
He's an abjuration sorcerer, actually.
Are there like interesting looking shelves and
There are a few interesting looking shelves, not as many as you would like.
I'm poking around, I'm not listening. Jenny is.
Can you give me an Arcana roll, please?
Yes. I was prepared
And you,
for that.
Go
you
badly.
specifically can give me a religion roll, but none of the others are old enough to have any context of some of the stuff down here.
Arcana is 12.
I'm almost as old as she is.
You find
Or older.
Are you?
Religion is 7.
An elf.
Yeah, but you were born at the same time as everybody else. You were born. Hold on, I gotta bring up the timeline. I don't know how to get to the timeline because I don't know how to interact with the timeline website.
Oh no, I'm not rolling religion 'cause I don't care.
You are just about as old as Voracis, regardless of your race.
Nah.
I believe Asha is roughly as old as.
But
Dirt.
we had
Yes.
her pegged in at 50.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
How old is Asha?
Did I put an age to her?
175.
Extremely old.
That's a
How
lot of
old
years.
did dwarves get?
I pictured it.
Several years.
I don't know why, but Goris is only half elf, so I probably look older than Slayer.
Yeah, I forgot you were
His
a
magic
dwarf.
keeps him
Never
young.
mind.
Good grief. So Asha has some
Looks like
profane knowledge that she's not supposed to have. Yeah, there are
That sounds
some.
pretty
We've
profane.
always known you were
There are
profane.
some, basically a bunch of arcane focuses here. Specifically in the cult, arcane focuses.
Anything that interests me enough to steal?
There's one that is the petrified eye of a dire newt. Does that interest you at all?
That sounds amazing and delicious.
Eat it
It's not delicious
immediately.
unless, as a dwarf, you can eat rocks. I think that's racist.
It is.
I'm sorry for being racist.
No, he's not.
Are there a lot of people in here, or just the one talking to Nine?
There are a few very husky, very sweaty guards. It's very warm down here.
Are they looking at me?
Yes.
They're guards.
Doesn't mean they're good.
They have they're polearm shafts, but they have mace heads on the end. And they're just kind of choking up on these.
Alright, I won't do anything with
So, how are we going to make sure that you don't walk off? We can negotiate this. I would have preferred to do so before giving you 1,000 pieces of gold for expenses, but we can negotiate this.
I mean, you already paid me that.
Yeah, that was a poor idea, wasn't it?
In the interest of future business ventures, I'll hang around until I feel like I've done 1,000 gold worth of work.
Yeah, I forgot who I was dealing with. Usually people they have, fanatical piety, that sort of thing. I legitimately forgot who you were, and I apologize for that. That was inattentive of me, to an extreme degree. I don't know, if you don't follow through with something, I suppose we'll send some other people to kill you or something. I don't think we have anybody who could probably do that, but I can try to find somebody.
You'd just be wasting money.
Probably, yes. But, we probably wouldn't have much time, left as an organization at that point, so it's liquidation of a sort.
I would be happy to help you with that. Make sure they're carrying money.
Lovely. So, would you like a magical weapon, by the way? That may dramatically improve your chances of success. I have a great sword that you could have.
I use a shield.
I have a long sword you can have also. If we could shave it down a little.
File it slowly until it's finally.
She says, "Tell the law mage to meet me in my inner chambers. We'll have it ready for you before you go. As for the rest of you, can I get you anything? I don't really know the circumstances of what you're doing, but I was told directly that you're going to further our cause and revolutionize the world and things, and that you're going to help put Ost back in place and throw down the Saints and all of that. Is that true?
Yeah, it sounds vaguely familiar.
Well, that is what we're about, yes.
Oh, thank Ost. I was feeling very silly there for a second.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Do any of you or your mages hear any music at all times, or at any time?
At all times.
Yes.
Any music at all times.
Yes, correct.
The cook is
You
always
get the phrasing
singing.
right.
It was actually causing quite a bit of a problem. He calls it singing. It's not very much like singing. It's just kind of a wee sound.
Yes, the fourth stanza, yes.
You can talk with him if you'd like, I suppose.
I must speak with this cook immediately. Are they busy?
She points you to a set of stairs. They're very greasy.
Of course, immediately goes down the stairs.
Everything in here is greasy.
There's a lot of grease. They burn a lot of grease candles down here, and it just kind of accumulates on surfaces.
How do you feel about taking in 3 orphans for some free apprenticeship / training / babysitting?
We're taking a lot of orphans.
Of course, stops at the top of the stairs. They're my apprentices, though. I'm going to train them.
Well, you're not going to be training them while we're on a mission, so. And I don't think you've
Substitute
actually
teachers,
trained
yes,
them
that
yet.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I taught them to play with dice.
Not the new third lizard orphan.
They have to listen to the music while they play dice. Of course, that's the only one.
I've done nothing but listen to the music and play dice.
They can't accumulate too much additional trauma down here. I'm sure they'll be fine.
She says that they can provide accommodation for as many orphans as you wish. Their orphan capacity is only at, 1 second, 61%.
Okay.
Is there a way to get them in here without dragging them through the...
Oh yes, they can come in through the front door.
There's a front door?
I can't think of any other way that would subdivide unless they have 61 out of 100 orphans or some multiples of that.
She's not very good at math. She has other people to do that for her.
Okay.
She sounds very... She feels very intelligent when she hears them tell her about all the statistics of running a cult, and so she just tries to remember important numbers and then to regurgitate them when people left.
They have 2 orphans.
61%, so about 17 then.
Yes.
Plenty of friends.
So she sends a nun who is not actually a nun because that would be illegal. You're not allowed to be a nun. You're not allowed to be a religious person in this society.
I don't think you're allowed to be a cult leader either.
Oh no, but she's not going to go out publicly as a nun. She's going to go out publicly as a,
She's gonna put her
I
street
see.
clothes on.
I don't know, something person.
Who's not a nun.
Yes. A nunt.
You can't call them that.
I mean, you would.
I would.
I'm sorry. That's fair.
I like that I said that while you were starting to drink water and you just froze. There was no other option. You have electronics to worry about.
So she sends a person out to fetch the orphans and to get a refund for your rooms.
During the day, she's a cultist. For a night, she's a nun. That's her night job.
That's the night
Yeah, as
job.
a nun.
Is there anything else she can help you with? The short term. She says you can each have a luxurious room of your pick from either the museum up above. They can repurpose an exhibit for you if you would like anything that they currently have. Or you can choose one of the cells or one of the slightly nicer meeting rooms from down below. You can even sleep in the library if you wish.
Do any of the rooms give Goris particularly music-y vibes?
Can you give me perception, please?
My perception is not very high. 15.
Great. They do have a literal chanting room where people are chanting and it sounds vaguely musical, but that's not really the music. So you're confused for a second before you remember that music and music are two different things.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
no, unfortunately.
Okay. He'll go as far from the chanting room as he can.
Okay.
While still
As
being-
far from the chanting room as you can would be the kitchen.
Perfect. Goris will take the kitchen. I can speak
Going
to
there
their chef
anyway.
all I want. Yes. Perfect.
They have several cooks as well as a chef. The chef is a half-orc who is muttering and making noises to himself as he is preparing what appears to be the biggest loaf of bread you've ever seen in your life, or maybe it will be once they make it. And as you approach him, the music grows slightly louder.
The yeast ooze.
You know, where I come from, bread making is a rare skill. Glad to see that.
Because everyone else died.
It doesn't matter to Goris, it's a rare skill now.
His head practically swivels around as you approach. He says, "The music. Why?
Indeed.
Why is it louder?
It's louder for me too.
Oh.
You can hear it.
Oh
Yes.
no.
Always the music."
Yes. Always.
One of them
Never-
needs
never
new
stops.
pants, maybe
Actually,
both of them.
it did stop for me once. I was terrified.
Oh, I can't even imagine that.
So,
Oh,
I was basically paralyzed.
what brings you here? Are you here to
I heard you hear the music, so of course I
I
had.
do hear the music. How
Yes.
did you hear?
Someone said that you were humming sounds, and I recognized what they hummed back to me.
Oh,
so-
what a fortuitous day.
Indeed, yes. I'm going to be staying right here in the kitchen. This is where I was sleeping.
Oh, praise be to
So the
us.
music brought me here, of course. I think that's what.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
You guys will never be quiet again. They'll believe me now.
Yes.
They can't not.
All of my friends believe me, so.
You are blessed with the unbelief. He turns back and begins vigorously kneading the bread.
I'll make sure they believe you too.
He shouts at his cooks in time with the music to work harder, and their eyes widen in fear because they know what this means.
I will run back to my friends.
This is a weird romantic subplot.
He's a half-orc. He hears the music. He's another chosen one. I'm not alone.
I gotta note this down because
Well,
otherwise
that
I'll forget.
doesn't make
So
you the
are you-
chosen
are you
one.
I didn't get his name. It was only important that he
Are you then the chosen two?
Yes.
I think so. Yes, I think that's what.
Chosen two. How
I
would we
was so
tell?
excited. I had to come and tell you.
So you're still the chosen one, and he's the chosen two.
Maybe we should have a competition to determine who is the chosen one and who is the chosen two.
This vocabulary is confusing. Why don't we just go with A and B?
Chosen A and chosen B.
Easy over there,
Oh, well,
Nanny.
I don't know letters, so that would be extra confusing for me actually.
Don't listen to the nanny.
Yeah, I can count to like.
The nanny is
19.
very much like Wrath. Very angry
I see.
It's children.
and quick to hit people.
I felt that.
Yes. Well, that's the lightest hit. I think that he knows how to do.
It did remind me of Wrath for sure.
You've chosen something as being important enough to remember.
What?
You've chosen something as being important enough to remember. I can't imagine what that might be. I've literally never seen you take a note.
I forgot I got notepads. I use a lot of notepads.
We
and I
do write
forget what's on
down
them.
quotes normally in other places, but
Yep.
there will be many quotes.
Yeah, but when the DM hurriedly writes down a sticky note and slaps it inside of a binder, you're in some shit.
So, Goras has his room. Are you guys going to get rooms also?
Is there something resembling a musty basement that is not a sewer?
There is a literal musty basement.
I will take the musty basement, please. It sounds-
There are many rooms in the musty basement. That's where you're standing right now.
Well,
There's
stuff
grease
to
covering
stuff.
everywhere, remember?
I'm just plopping down right here where I am then.
Alright, you're in an open hall and they're just gonna have to clean around you.
Yep.
They don't clean. It's full of grease.
They do their best.
They clean with
Weird
grease.
grease, yes.
I think I would prefer a drier, less musty.
They can provide you with a decent room.
Okay.
It'll be upstairs.
They're very against my idea to clean the grease with fire.
Yes, they say the cleansing fire will not come yet.
Yes.
You're
My
not really
response
sure.
was, it could. I have a torch right here.
And they nervously asked you to put it away. I don't know if you did or not, but they did nervously ask.
Things are unburnt for now.
For the moment. Time passes and the orphans are herded. Let's see what. It is the 23rd. I'm gonna say by this time it's about 4 in the evening, afternoon, etc. The morning, whatever time of day you went call
That's
it.
several different types.
It's still April,
okay.
as it was when we started the campaign. And once everybody is settled in, the abbess, she brings out a big fancy cart with a sheet draped over it, and they wheel it up to Nine, and along with the law mage, who is a human who is the skinniest man you have ever seen in your life. He's not terribly tall, he's just aggressively skinny. You might mistake him for a skeleton, and Nine perhaps has at one point. That resulted in some unfortunate circumstances. He wears drapey blue robes, and his eyes are almost as glassy as his skin. But he has he has a satisfied look on his face as he comes with the abbess up to a 9, and then with a flourish he pulls back the sheet, and there is a gleaming, polished longsword with what looks like a solid gold handle, a big ol' onyx stone in the pommel, and bright blue runes emblazoned on the blade. And the abbess says, "Here it is, 9. It has extra smiting power, I think you said. Something like that."
Is it cursed?
What?
As soon until this makes sense to both
What?
shots.
Why on earth would... What? Does this look like a cursed sword to you?
A little?
Why would you think it's a curse? Do you not see the gleaming silver, gold, and blue? What about that looks cursed to you?
I just feel like handing me a weapon that somehow forces me to never run out on you.
Why on earth would you think that? What a silly, silly man you are. Pick up the sword.
Fine, I've touched worse.
You pick up the sword. It is indeed cursed.
I figured.
You didn't expect that, did you?
You know, curses don't really work until you attune to things, right?
What on earth are you talking about?
I throw the sword out.
It sticks to your hand.
Damn it.
I don't know about you, but I never could have seen that coming. That was very devious.
If you close your eyes really hard, it will slurp into your hand, though, and so you can use your hand for things. So don't worry.
I could use it right now to kill you. And everyone in here.
Oh.
I still have a torch.
Well, there's no need for that, because it's a magic sword, and it's going to help you in your adventures. Toodaloo! She's gonna leave the room. The law mage stands there awkwardly for a second. Says, "Listen, man, it wasn't my idea."
I didn't think it was. What does it do?
It doesn't have smiting power, so I don't know why she was saying that. I don't know what smiting power is, aside from, I guess, you could smite an enemy with, anything, I suppose, because that's just that's a synonym for hitting people.
Except fists.
Oof. Like, it'll let her talk to you, and like we have this rock where we can just any sound that comes through the room where the rock is, it'll come through the sword. And I think
Instead of being tracked by
I don't know.
Hunter badges, we're being tracked
You
through
can't
sword.
actually talk back to us, so I'm not really sure what the purpose is. I don't know. It's just what I was told, and
Spyware.
you literally just say into my hand, and then it goes into your hand, and then you just have your hand. I don't know, man. I'm sorry. He leaves also.
Boris holds out his arcane focus, closes his eyes really hard, and says, "Into my hand."
The blood does not go back into your hand.
It was worth a shot.
There's also a letter that's on the same cart that the sword came with. It is sealed, and it says, "To the glorious agents of Ost" on it.
Is that us? Are we glorious?
I don't know.
I'm glorious.
No.
You're chosen.
He is full of glory.
Yes. So is the chef.
And the chef. Is the chef coming with us?
Well, he has the
Imagine
very,
the soup he could make.
Well, he has the very rare talent of making bread. I think it's important for him to be here to provide these people.
It is a diminishing art.
But can he
I'm
make
gonna
soup?
hand the letter to him unknowingly, while trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with this obviously cursed sword and how I'm going to exact vengeance and still get money.
He hands you a letter.
A letter. I don't know how to read. Is this for me? Is this for someone else? Should I deliver this to someone? Here's the letter.
I guess I will open the letter, since I can read.
You open the letter, and there are several sheets of paper inside, which have the floor plans to a house, and a letter detailing about how
Does it have an elevator?
it does not have an elevator.
Oh, God. We'll deal with one elevator at a time.
It's an explanation how, as soon as you stopped being able to be tracked, certainly the monster hunters are going to be,
Aren't we the monster hunters?
that is a very question. The monster hunters are, by the cult's prediction, going to be coming after you, having been seeing all of the brave exploits that you've been performing in the name of Ost. These are not detailed, these supposed brave exploits that you've been performing in the name of Ost, but the Abbess just assumes that you've been doing them, as you are the chosen
probably have.
champions of Ost.
I've been chosen for a second.
And they are apparently creating a devious and elegant trap in this particular building, where they are going to lead whoever the monster hunters send after you. And so they say that your first mission is to take care of these people. They don't have the identity of these people because they're just whoever the monster hunters just decide to send after you. They don't have a time frame because they just assume they're coming at some time after they realize that they can't see you guys anymore. But they were very kind to provide these plans for you.
I think the devious trap was already sprung. We just all watched it happen. It was incredibly devious.
That was very devious.
Yes.
Does anyone know remove curse?
I know remove hand.
You can remove curses.
I'll be happy
I mean,
to
it'll
take your
grow
hand
back.
off.
Lizards can regrow their limbs.
It's true.
Not a lizard.
I've seen a lot of lizards. I've cut a lot of lizards' hands off.
I'm not a lizard.
Have you ever tried?
To be a lizard or to cut off?
No, to cut off your hand.
Perhaps he's just a giant human. It's not a lizard. It's an amphibian.
Do I have a weapon with a blade?
Also, why would the monster hunters be coming after us if we're not monsters? I'm not a monster. Are you a monster?
No,
Is he a monster?
We are fellow monster hunters.
That's what I thought.
I've been called a monster. Does that count? I have a scimitar.
Wrath was kind of a monster.
Yeah, no one has offered you any explanation for why the monster hunters would be coming after you, or why you should care that they're watching you. In particular, they just kind of said, "This is what's happening."
Am I in the same room as Rob?
At the moment, you're in the same room for the sake of whatever.
Alright, Goris has a dumb idea because he's Goris. That means he's gonna do it.
Pooh boy.
Goris is gonna cast Sending on his most recent monster hunter contact.
Okay, so usually you interact with the monster hunters by going to a town and they just have like a little bureaucratic office and you fill out the paperwork. So that would have been shortly, probably before you guys started the campaign.
Okay,
so a few weeks ago.
whoever would be the most high up Monster Hunter Chorus can think of that he's interacted with, I guess.
Okay. Oh, right.
I can roll a check for that if you wish.
So you worked with Antonin for many years.
Yes.
You guys were complete psychopaths who were really good monster hunters. So you probably would have gotten some kind of a commendation at a banquet or something. So you guys have probably interacted with at least a captain in the Monster Hunters.
Psychopaths, good to know.
You know, to the monsters at the very least.
This does explain why Antonin was perfectly willing to jump into
Of course.
a bin of spiders and just sink down into them.
Yes.
And why he was annoyed with me that I did not do this thing right up.
Oh my. Didn't give a name though.
Knowing Goris, he probably had like his name displayed somewhere and he just couldn't read it. He was referred to as Captain. I wrote his name.
Giant glistening name tag.
Very proudly displayed.
I have to imagine that somebody created a giant area field spell of name tag, where when you step onto it, it asks what your name is, and then you speak it, and then it writes it across your lapel.
It appears a little frame over your head.
Perfect.
For added convenience, it shows your health and your remaining spell slots.
What faction you're affiliated with.
So it was Captain Mio Zam. Mioxam was the highest ranking monster hunter that you have contacted. He did in fact give you a little medal, which Antonin convinced you to sell so that you could have a luxurious vacation.
Would make sense. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Antonin just convinced me to give it before, and then of course never asked for it.
So you send to him. What do you send to him?
All right, I would like to send. Hello, this is Goris Petro. Are you coming after us? And if so, why? Also, are we monsters?
Can he send back?
Yes.
I forgot. Yes. Okay.
Up to 25 words.
He is aware of who I am.
All right. Let's see if he's awake or not.
I'd wake him up.
99.
Just hear it in your brain.
There's a pause before it returns. Boy, give me a minute. That's not what he says. That's probably what he said to somebody else before he sent the message back.
Man, it must be hard to, like, cheat on someone texting when you have to keep interrupting conversations with, not now, she's here. What? I'm not texting.
He sends back, "No, Goras. It's been a long time since heard from you. Hope you're well. Where are you?"
That's it. You need another spell.
Yep. Goris contemplates casting it again. Hi, he casts again. He casts again. Goris sends back. I'm with a lovely chef who also hears the music and is the chosen two, I believe. Or the chosen one, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The whole spell just for that.
All right.
I give it a discount, to be fair. It's my subclass, but... Oh, I'll tag on the end there as well. Oh, I lost my badge also. Is that a problem?
I think that's well over the 25 word limit.
Probably.
Also,
If you
I'd like
smush
to
a
think
bunch
that
of
Gore would
words
just cut
together
off for Goris at some
into
point.
one word.
I miss you, Goris. Vacationing in Valavi City soon. You happen to be there? Want to meet up? No problem.
Of course.
Is this your friend who's supposed to be supplying
No, that's a different
the
friend.
tavern? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Is it different?
Where are we currently, by the way? He wants to know if we can meet up.
You feel a sudden
I'm not good at maps.
cold sensation. Your amulet against detection suddenly turns ice cold.
Oh, this is
We're in Balabi.
You're supposed to keep this on, right? This is very uncomfortable.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
No, we're in Balabi City.
Do we know he's talking to the
They said they'll
monster
be here
hunters?
I
soon.
don't
Should
know.
I tell them that?
Do we know that he's talking to the monster hunters?
I
I'm
have not
pretty
explained
sure-
it. I'm talking to someone.
as a verbal component, you can hear him talking, but not the response because it's telepathic into his brain.
So you know I'm talking to someone I have not explained to.
Just speaking
It would
aloud.
make no
That makes
difference
sense.
anyway. I wouldn't understand what he's talking
I don't think anyone would see it as anything out of the ordinary.
With
I,
him?
you did
Oh,
hear
no.
me ask, are you coming after us? Are we monsters?
Yes.
To be fair.
That could just be Goras talking to himself.
That's true. Yes.
He's a very philosophical.
He could be
chosen-
talking to Antonin. I mean, there's no telling who he's talking to.
I would like to talk to him, and I've tried, and I don't think I can reach him.
Imagine if Antonin was using Goras as a beacon to find his way home, and then the beacon just suddenly vanishes.
Oops.
Oops.
That's someone else's problem.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it sounds fine. He wants to meet up. He misses me, and it doesn't sound like they're coming after us at all.
Like, who's coming after us?
Also, is it cold in here, or is it just me?
It's just you.
Just me.
It's pretty warm down here.
Interesting.
Is the music changed?
Not since the kitchen.
Okay.
So,
Like, who's coming after us?
so the captain.
Captain who?
That's Doctor.
Cora starts to nose me slightly. Captain. The captain.
The captain.
Yeah.
Straighten him out.
Anson and I would be working with him before. He gave us medals and stuff.
Antonin was the only one that actually understood.
Well, just keep him from doing anything stupid.
There's a cost to understanding Goras, and you just pay that cost.
Not about some of
He
them.
paid that cost by summoning soup cans. and things.
Yes.
Well, if it's a friend of yours, Goras, I don't see any harm.
Yes, it's a captain. He was
It's a
very nice. He
captain.
gave me a medal.
He gave you a medal.
I don't have the medal.
Why not?
I gave it to Anthony. Right before we went on our love vacation.
It's convenient.
Yeah. It was in celebration, of course. I don't know where you got the money. We were pretty poor at the time. I love playing low intelligence characters so much.
Goras is precious. He must be protected at all
8
costs.
wisdom, 7 intelligence. Let's go.
I don't know that we're going anywhere, so if you want to meet your friend, I don't see any harm in it.
Maybe don't lead him right into the super secret cloakhouse.
So 9, you've been studying the sword for a while. It's a sword.
I'm trying to figure out where in town I can buy someone removing a curse for me.
It is a big town. You can definitely find somebody who can remove curse.
Because I'm rich, so
Right.
I can probably find someone actually reputable to just get rid of this
Wonder
thing.
how much does a nanny
He
pay?
must be a very good nanny if he's
Yeah.
rich. Maybe we
Well,
should have stuck with him as the
He
nanny.
was given 1,000 gold, which was supposed to be expenses for the entire party.
Yeah, but then they cursed me, so
The party didn't curse you. That was the abbess. It's
no,
like
the
person who
people
gave you
who
the money.
paid me it. So now I'm taking it as like they owe me.
Damages?
Yeah. Like I'm going to.
She also paid you in addition to that money for the job.
Did she?
She did.
How much?
I don't remember. I told you in a message at the... Or maybe that was rolled into the 1,000. I can't remember. I don't think it was.
If
Right.
you told me in a message, I would have written it down because I just leave this crap in front of my computer when I'm not playing.
Yeah. So temporarily going to switch the cast to this one.
So while you were out and about, Garth, did you find any place interesting that we should go to see?
I sat on top of a large tree because I could hear the music better from
You might be able to find somebody with remove curse.
the higher up I get usually, the better.
Okay.
How'd you get beat out?
Fell out of the tree
Yeah.
on the knives.
Well, they're very sharp branches, you see.
So if we find you a really tall tower in the city, then you would be closer to the music.
Yes, but it would probably be a lot of noise in the city and also interference.
How many classes are there? I should know these basic things. Is it
What?
16? No.
Classes?
Yeah.
Well,
A lot?
And how many have they added now?
They haven't added many
75.
actual
Professor
classes.
since the base release.
13.
13, there we go.
I was about to say.
Are you trying to see how many people in your metric of population would be the right class to cast a spell?
Classy and level. Not many.
You must be a rare skill in baking.
Percentiles. I have dice, I swear.
Cleric, paladin, warlock, wizard.
You have a pile of dice. There.
What's that?
You have a pile of
I know.
dice.
I'm blind. I
And a
can't
whole
see
box
things.
in reserve.
Two different sorcerers that we don't have with us.
Would you like to go searching for somebody who can cast Remove Curse?
Yes.
Alright.
What school is Remove Curse?
Remove Curse.
Abjuration.
is Abjuration.
Sure you
Funny,
can
you
look
have
at
an
the
Abjuration
thing.
wizard right here. It's the guy who
Oh, yeah,
made
the
the sword in the
mage.
first place.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Demographically speaking, that means he's the only one in the city who can cast Remove Curse.
Well, like I know where he went. I just go after it.
The abbess probably can also, if she actually gets her power from a deity. She may also be a warlock. In that case, she probably doesn't have remove curse.
Warlocks can get it.
I mean, they can get it. Whether the abbess specifically has
I can't
dedicated
remove curse.
one of her spellcasting potentials to remove curse is another question.
Like, I feel like as a warlock, you need remove curse to not accidentally become some other non-deity's bitch. Like, just for job security. Like,
Maybe that's why she has a long mage.
I touched too many things.
These were all once magical artifacts. Now it's just a bunch of trinkets. Rip.
Anyway, I'm gonna go grab the law mage.
He's hiding. You're gonna have to try to find him. How would you like to find him? He is wearing an amulet of protection against detection, as it happens. He's very good at making those. That's like almost his entire job.
I mean, he's a law
Is it
mage.
against detecting him or against detecting anything on him?
Him and his possessions.
Bummer.
I'm just going to like roar, law mage, come
not his name.
here. It doesn't matter. I don't know his name.
Did I give his name or not? I can't
Nope.
remember. Okay. His name is Salonius now.
Bellowing angrily.
He doesn't come running.
Did you say something about there being a front line?
They said something about there being a front door. Damn well better be. I'm not going back that way.
There is a front door, and they'll show you. You can go up the stairs. You can go through the museum, and you can go right out the front door of the museum.
Come here, or I light the building on fire.
The guards begin to quickly move out of the room.
I follow the guards.
They say, "Will you please not light the building on fire?"
Do you think you can stop me?
I think I could probably find Mr. Salonius.
That would stop me.
All right. The guards go to try to find the luggage.
I stand at the top of the greasy stairs with a tinderbox, just like in my hand, waiting menacingly.
That is pretty menacing. So you go up and out, Mr. Solier. The museum it's not a very good museum. It's a museum of local history. There are lots of dramatic expositions on little plaques of what these relics and treasures once meant to the people who once lived here. It's a bunch of pots. It's a bunch of chairs. It's a bunch of spearheads. You have seen caves with the dead people in them before. That's pretty much the same effect.
How many are not as old as he is?
Probably depends on how honest they are with the descriptions.
No.
28% of them are younger than he is.
Excellent.
Well, for lack of anything better to do, Slayer's just gonna go for a walk.
All right,
Doesn't want to get burnt to a crisp when the nanny gets pissed.
you go for a walk. Shit. You see some people in acolyte robes run hastily past you. They begin prestidigitating everything.
Oh, I know that trick. Goris tries it.
You begin magically mopping the floor.
I make no move to help him anyway.
Understandable.
I assume this has distracted Goris sufficiently from his previous task of contacting his former employer.
He completely forgot now that he's supposed to meet up with him.
He's like, I don't
Yes.
remember where we are. And it's just, oh, cleaning.
So eventually, one of the seers of Ost wanders over to you, Nine. He says, "I appreciate how much you, or rather how little you care for humanity and propriety. If you ruin my plans, I don't care how much my brother has invested in you. I will make your afterlife as miserable as I possibly can.
Get in line.
And before that, I will make your head explode.
Get in line.
I offer you one simple demand, that you not harm anybody in this building."
Get rid of the curse and we'll talk.
No.
I just level
The seer's
curse.
head explodes all over you.
Wipe it off my face and continue standing there with the fire.
Understandable.
Does he have any idea who he was just talking to?
Do you have any idea who you were just talking to?
I'll get that message.
You begin cleaning brains up the floor.
I have a good idea and don't care. There's like 9 kinds of otherworldly taste.
I mean, that's the second head today that's exploded in your vicinity.
Haven't even raised an eyebrow.
Do you have eyebrows?
I have
I don't
eyebrow
know that-
muscles.
You have brow ridges. I don't know that you have eyebrows.
Do
You also have a thick mane of wavy hair.
No.
Do you have eyelids or do you have like a clear film that
I have eyelids.
We
you
did-
lick your eyeballs?
No, I don't.
We did confirm that he doesn't lick his eyes last session.
How do you keep them moist?
With my eyelids.
No. You don't have eyelids.
I have eyelids.
my way.
Do they close like this?
No.
Do I have eyelids? I've never thought to check.
I check him for eyelids.
He has eyelids.
You have eyelids.
Okay, good.
I was gonna make you roll nature, but I decided against it.
What do I get?
5.
As Salir is going for a stroll, he sees a human woman approaching with a bunch of orphans.
Ooh.
They all
Are
have
they
some
for
kind of a
sale?
glowing haze around their heads. Their eyes are just kind of blank, and they're just marching along in front of her.
Okay.
I think I recognize that look.
You gotta work hard to inflict trauma like that.
She looks very unsettled. Her hair is kind of frazzled. She looks very tired. She looks at you and says, "Oh, fancy seeing you here. Why wasn't I warned?"
Warned.
Oh, they were just a bit of a handful. That's all. I didn't realize that I was going to be dealing with that. For some reason, I thought they'd been, told to
They're children.
have some level of respect for their elders. Apparently not.
They're orphans. They have no respect for anything.
No, I wasn't told they were orphans either.
How do you know the
Wait.
orphans?
There are
The orphans here? Oh, they're okay.
Pretty sure
Why
I know
you
our
just
own
running
orphans.
into orphans in the street?
And so she leads the orphans inside the museum and then into the cult, where she releases their brainwashing, whatever it was, and they look around a little drunkenly at their
Thank
surroundings.
God Wrath didn't have that capability.
You think Raph never got the orphans drunk?
Oh no, I'm sure.
That's just referred to
That's sleepy time juice.
breakfast. You're not going to drink the water. There's a perfectly good
Cornflakes
head
and
of vodka
beers,
right there.
breakfast of champions.
A half hour is probably past by this point. That's the mini-map.
This has to be like the 9th time the cult has tried to pull some crap.
They do like pulling crap. So eventually, the servants in Gorex get the floor cleaned. There's very little grease remaining. One of the servants even hastily tries to clean underneath your feet. 9. And then they realize where they are and they scurry away like a little spider. They were a person, they weren't a spider though. And the abbess comes back and she's like, "Oh, you're all still here? Except one of you's the professional-looking gentleman. He must be planning for things. He must be doing things. Is this?"
Do we not look professional?
Yes.
She stares at you for a second.
I mean, I'm not the professional one. I'm the chosen one. So this should be obvious.
She asks one of her servants to go look for references to the chosen one in the holy scriptures. What
Look for the chosen two as well. I'd like to know more.
Okay, yes, we'll do that.
Just come back with his diary.
What is your profession, ma'am?
I'm an orphan wrangler.
I suppose you look professional then?
Thank you.
I'm a monster hunter, if it matters.
Yes, we were aware of that.
Yes.
Well, you were one, rather.
Was I fired?
Existential crisis.
They are coming. Oh dear.
My captain said he misses me. He wants to go.
She's going to roll an insight.
Can we finally put 2 and 2
That
together?
boy ain't right.
Do you need like a passive for?
No, just
Okay.
she just rolled insight. As well. Oh, yes. The people you were working for are now trying to kill you
Why would they do that? I'm not a monster.
because they have been watching you serving our great God, and you see, they work for the government, and the government does not like our great God, and so they have been spying on you
I
to
see.
know what you're doing so that they can hunt you down and kill you once they get the information they want. And now that you have the artifacts on that we gave you, they can't see you anymore, and so they are surely sending people to kill you because you are no longer valuable to them.
I see.
Yeah.
So putting this together, your great god is a monster.
No.
I see. I don't see.
They are bad people. They do not just hunt monsters. They do lots of bad things. You're not. They are not you. You were them, but you're not because you aren't them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
What they were and what you were are two
told you to
different
go ahead.
things.
I see. I see.
Now they are bad and you are good. We are also good.
So it's probably a bad thing I was just talking to my captain. He said he's coming here and he wants to meet up.
What do you mean you were just talking to him?
You
I
didn't
spoke
give
to him.
them
I touched him.
She looks at your amulet for a second.
You didn't give them the non-detection amulets before they went through your secret sewer entrance.
They were supposed to get them back at the hotel. If they didn't get them back at the hotel, we're retconning it, so they got them at the hotel.
Okay.
Why did she...
Well, I was very confused. Why? So I thought I'd ask my employer because that just. I mean,
Did you not tell him anything?
I didn't know what he was doing. He talks to himself all the time.
Nine?
You cursed me.
good response. It was a devious trap.
She turns around and says, "We're shutting it down! We're shutting it all down!" Code Mercury! Code
Oh
Mercury!
yeah, I was going to tell him where we were, but I didn't
Oh,
because I forgot to. But he did say he was coming here, so.
So first you said you did tell him, and then you said you
I
didn't.
talked to him.
Are you not maybe forgetting that you did actually tell him? Because I don't know what you forgot or what you remembered at this
No,
point.
I have an amazing memory. Don't worry about it. I'm
Okay.
the chosen one. My memory is perfect.
So how much does he know? What did you tell him?
I told him. Well, first I asked him a question. I said, "Are you coming after us, and are we monsters?"
She glares at her servant who is already scribbling down the things you're saying.
Yes, and he said, "No, of course not. He misses me, and he wants to meet up with me because he hasn't seen me in forever." And then he asked where I was, but I was going to respond to that, but then there was all this blood everywhere, and I was cleaning it up, and it was just.
I can keep him on a leash and get rid of the curse.
I don't think he's the one who. I don't know. I don't know
think a
because
leash
I
would
don't
stop
know.
me anyways, so it's fine.
Goras is unleashable.
Unless you trap me with a devious curse, and I can curse the leash.
No, that's not necessary. I don't think we have one of those
But
anyway.
anyways, I think he's coming here regardless of what he does. That's what he said.
Or
He said he was going to have a vacation here.
okay, so he knows. Well, that makes sense that he knows the city because they would have still been watching you before you put on the things we gave you. So, what that does is it confirms that they were watching you. We know for certain that in this today moment, we were wondering perhaps if we had a little bit of time before maybe, they look back at the footage. Perhaps they were just lazy. But this confirms that they were thinking of you when you were thinking of them, as it were. And so that tells us that we must act quickly. Do you have any ideas for plans yet?
Kill you?
We gave you a house.
No one asked you.
She does her best to ignore you. I don't think it works
Usually
very
when we
well.
need a plan, something with a...
She rolled a nat 1 on her wisdom saving throw.
I have a +8 to intimidation.
She immediately goes pale and says, "I cannot deal with you right now." And she leaves.
I suppose that means we better come up with some kind of plan.
I just follow her.
Usually when we need
Menacing.
a plan, something shows up and our tent explodes, but that doesn't happen this time.
No, it did. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
I mean, if they know,
Oh yeah, there was an exploding guy. I just cleaned it up.
if they know we're in the city,
Did he give us a plan?
then we should leave the city.
Oh yeah,
Why?
it's big raid time. This is...
Or we can just kill the guy when he gets here. I don't care.
My former captain.
She finally
Whoever
swivels
space.
around and says, "If we remove the curse, will you do the things we're asking? Please." I said the please word.
That's all you had to say.
So you'll do it?
Up to 1,000 gold's worth of effort, yeah.
All right. Salonius opens one of the nearest doors to you. It swivels around and Salonius is on the other side. He says, "Oh, already planning it."
I would lose track of the count of my effort around 19. So I'm very impressed that you can count up your effort.
Lizards have a lot of fingers because they can chop them off and regrow them, so they have as many as they need.
Every time I try to count
What?
the music, just some numbers just start appearing in the music, and it's very confusing. It's very hard to count.
So he does one of these, and then he grabs the sword and it comes away in his hand, and then it dissolves into dirt at his feet. He says, "I did it. I wanted to do it from the beginning. I
No,
didn't have the
fine.
permission."
You're fine. You're good.
Oh, thank God.
The next time I call for you, you come running or you're going to be in trouble.
I'm not going to respond to that with anything. I will see you later, sir.
You
and then
will.
He just runs away. He casts Expeditious Retreat and then runs away.
I look at the lady who pays me and I go, you have to stop doing this.
How did you get out of such a devious trap like that? It's very impressive.
Well, I just thought about what I'd do if someone took my foot. And how that would change all of my motivations going forward.
If I lost a foot, I would probably still. I can move things with my mind, so I'd move my shoe along my foot.
He'd still at least be like 5'2", I have to imagine. Solir. I wish I could say that you notice somebody staring at you or anything, but this is a big city. There's just people everywhere. There are people of all different races, mostly people. Wow, I'm being racist.
Wow.
Mostly human. They're just kind of.
It's funny how the more people.
There's lots of people, mostly people.
Anyways, sorry.
They're shoving rudely up against one another. This is one of the rudest cities that you've ever seen. People are usually a little more cordial in the usually smaller cities. But you've been to cities twice this size where people were generally more polite to one another. These are just not very nice people here.
Fair enough.
The fact that you're wearing 2 swords, I have to imagine you're wearing them at this point, keeps most people in a bit of a distance away from you. It certainly keeps anybody from trying to cut your purse. Excuse me. You are called out by a gnome who has a little dilapidated shop, and he says, "You with the 2 swords? Would you like some assistance in performing acts of virtuous violence?
Would you like a 3rd sword?
I know your type. You're a man of danger, of action. Would you care to peruse my wares? I cater to people in your circumstances."
Oh, sure, why not? This seems like a good thing.
He doesn't have much on display. You step through the door of his little building that probably should have been condemned a long time ago. The ceiling is definitely sagging. And he has glass cases that have some really terrible looking short swords and even a scimitar on display. They are terrible metal that's just been polished to a mirror shine so that it looks shiny for people who have no idea, what swords are. And he says, "Don't mind the baubles. Those are for the tourists. I have something that, you can make good use of. Tell me of your great campaigns, sir. What was the last adventure you found yourself on?"
Yeah, do we actually ever go adventuring?
Does it count saving a third of the town?
No, I think the last thing we did was, kill the troll.
You killed a troll. Lovely. What method did you use to kill this creature?
Lots of stabby.
We used violence.
You see, we turned ourselves invisible.
Yes.
Bravely killed it while they attacked the women and children.
And what method did you use to deal? What method did you use to deal the final blow? I can almost imagine it before my eyes. And I once fought a troll myself. He elaborates no further.
I believe its head came off, but accidentally, as it were. And the head reattached.
Oh yes, that sounds right.
And then there was more stabbing, and then suddenly there were streaks of fire.
Oh, so did it step into your campfire or something similar? I've heard of such things happening.
No, a friend of mine decided to catch it up.
Oh, you're friends with a wizard then?
I'm not sure what he is. He is the chosen one.
Oh well, I have a gift. I'm sure he would greatly appreciate. And I have something for you too, sir, that might spark your interest. First, the gift for your magical scholarly friend. And he pulls out this beautiful purple robe that's emblazoned with silver stars. And he says, "This is an enchanted robe. This enchanted robe allows one to appear visible when the stars shine in the sky, as a mirror to those on you see the coat itself. Isn't it beautiful?"
I'm sure he would love something such as that.
Sky camel?
and for you, sir, this pint of sacred oil. Don't speak softly, sir. Sacred oil. It blesses your weapons with the power to slay even ghosts.
Is this another romantic song?
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
Waiting for Auschwitz.
You can have both these things for the low price of. He gives a dramatic pause. 250 pieces of gold.
I have this other friend.
I have many friends.
Oh, you have another friend?
I have another friend.
What manner of person is this friend?
You see, he's a nanny.
Well, she's not so much a friend as the ex-wife of a really mean bastard.
That's not like an association to you, though.
Oh, I have some things in stock. They're dolls. You link them with a curse to the person you hate, and then you smother them, and that person has bowel discomfort.
She does hate a lot of people.
It sounds like something she would actually enjoy.
You can have that one for an additional only 50 gold.
Well, why not? We'll give this a try.
Gastrointestinal voodoo doll.
Yeah.
It sounds like a thing. And besides, it's not his money anyway. It's not like we're going back to that town, so...
What's the price of infinite bowel discomfort? 4 years of wages. Excellent.
I will give her over 30 of the platinum pieces.
Okay.
Or whatever it is.
She smiles broadly. So thank you, sir. This is the good best purchase you will ever make.
I'm certain that it is.
You will not regret anything.
It's all fake.
It doesn't matter.
Every single one.
It makes no difference. It's not
I want
Solaris money.
gastrointestinal voodoo
Solaris
dolls to be
care.
real. Don't take that away from me.
You leave the shop, unless you'd like to do anything more in the shop.
No, not at the moment. I'll just make a note of where the shop is.
Okay.
In case you need to come back and...
You being very good at that sort of thing, you keep an easy fixing in your mind of the shop and its surroundings and the steps you took to get there.
guess I will head back to the temple there.
All right, you head back to the Cult Temple Museum. He returns.
Dun, dun, dun.
What has transpired in the few minutes since we last did a scene break?
I took a nap.
She's very old.
Asha
Yes.
is very old and takes a nap.
Of course, we'll probably chat with the chef.
Goras is chatting with the chef and boosting his morale.
Yeah, we will just hum bits of the music back and forth with each other. Probably sounds terrifying to everyone else.
It's you're making the cooks weep tears of dread.
Have the orphans been initiated yet?
The orphans are still fairly drunk. They're
It's
not
time
sure.
for an
They're
initiation.
not sure what they want to do at this point.
Look, I missed that.
The orphans are still
got
fairly
drunk while
drunk.
we were away.
Gotcha.
So 9, you have said that you're going to do 1,000 gold pieces worth of work. What does that mean?
I haven't elaborated on purpose, but I am at least
Just gives them an out.
going over their like plans on go to house and kill people who show up.
That's the entirety of their plans. Yes. What do you do regarding going over that?
Well, I guess I'd have to actually see the plans, but try and figure out which entry points they'd be coming in.
It is
Establishing a we all jump out and kill them trap.
It is a luxurious townhouse. It has a front door, a basement door, and a back door. It is a
Oh, nice.
there's a front door,
That doesn't look like a wiener at all.
there's a back door,
Doesn't look what?
and there's a storm door.
Doesn't look like a wiener at all.
No,
Nah, it's just a really flaccid and really chubby one with growths.
The power of imagination, anything's possible.
Anything's a wiener.
This is more or less
I admire your
the
imagination.
level of what they've showed you. It's like there's very little detail here.
Is there just the one floor?
There are 2 floors.
but no elevators.
No elevators though.
Thank God.
How about escalators?
So we go to the second
Ever
floor,
touch
make
the
it look
trap
like we
door
made
in the
ourselves
elevator?
comfortable in here, and
There are
then
snakes.
I see.
Yes.
when they come up to the
Many
upstairs
places.
bedrooms, we just are there with weapons. While they think
I
we're
don't know
asleep.
why.
I'm not very good at weapons.
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
We just leave them alone. There's going to be like 50 reps in this place.
Of course I'll figure it out. I'm chosen. What are you talking about?
Well, the details are slowly coming forth.
So that's the plan that Mr. 9 comes up. You just sit on the top floor at some point, and then you murder people. When they come up the stairs, I
Burn the
suppose.
house down. It seems more simpler.
Or after they
People
get
can
there.
escape fire.
What if we kill
How
them
if you
and
board
then
the doors
burn
up?
house then?
How are we going to board the doors up without them knowing while they're inside and we're not?
Quiet.
I'm pretty sure that Goras could seal the doors.
Yes. How do you no, of course I can. Yes.
All you need to do is keep the door from open.
If I block each door up with 8 cows,
Seems like something a chosen one should be able to do.
Yes.
You say if you blow up the door, you'll have 8 cows.
if I block the doors,
Oh.
it's a lot of cows to get through.
If you could block the door with 8 cows, yes.
That's plan B.
You do not get to choose your animals.
From my experience, they're always
They're always cows, that's fair.
Or owls, or
they're at least
bats.
large creatures. They've been medium-sized exactly.
You can also block the doors and entranceways with owls if you had owls on hand. At the moment, you do not have owls on hand. They are hypothetical owls.
I could polymorph Goras into a very large cow.
Can Cow Gora still use the psychic abilities? Is that the ultimate power of a psionic sorcerer? Is that they can still be fully potent as a T-Rex?
Would I increase intelligence as a cow?
Only if it's true polymorph. Regular polymorph, you'd just be you, but with cow body.
I think regular polymorph includes the intelligence, mental stats. You keep your.
I believe regular polymorph changes all the stats. But
Yeah.
it keeps your personality if that's possible.
Right.
The giant ape might be a step up.
Goras truly must return to monkey too.
The target's
Engages
game
full time.
statistics, including mental ability scores,
Yep.
are replaced
there
by
you
the
go.
statistics of the chosen beast.
Oh, the chosen beast.
It retains its alignment and personality, so it'll be Goras if cow.
Yep.
That means no spells.
It's okay. He doesn't cast spells half the time.
Yeah,
He just does
I just
things.
do things with psionic ability that doesn't require.
Alright, so Goras cow is plan B.
So that's a DM rolling, I think.
That is a DM roll, but I'm not letting you roll for what animals you have now.
I mean,
when you cast.
polymorph you pick, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
polymorph. For
Yeah.
some reason, I was still thinking
Yeah,
of summon beasts.
Polymorph Goras into a swarm of cows.
So your plan is to polymorph Goras into a cow now, then take him to the house and use him to blockade the door and hope that they just don't notice that
And
there's a
hope
cow.
that Cow Goras can cast.
And hope that cow Goras can cast. Yes.
I'm napping, so I'm just dreaming
So
this.
I've got
So what would be the
spells that don't require casting components of any kind.
right? What's the thing that prevents a cow from casting to begin with?
You mean assuming the cow had casting glasses? Like physically, what removes them?
I'm
Or-
pretty sure sage advice says that you keep your class when you're polymorphed.
That might be. I can't remember if that's polymorph or.
It's definitely the case for wild shape. Otherwise, there would be a need to prevent you from casting spells when you're wild shaped, I would think.
The creature is limited in the action it can perform by the nature of its new form and can't speak, cast spells, or take any other action that requires hands or speech.
It
There
doesn't
you go.
require hands or speech.
A psionic sorcerer doesn't require either of those.
What if
It
was
also
a
said it
monkey?
can't cast spells or do anything that isn't on the stat block sheet.
I'm gonna say a psionic sorcerer specifically can cast if they have the mental capacity for, thought. That may prevent him from being like
I only get a few spells that
a
way.
rabbit. I don't know. They'll make him a rabbit.
I can cast.
Specifically make him something smarter than Goras.
I think the main useful thing I can do as a cow then is confusion.
The cow of confusion.
Yes. I will
You walk into a cow, you're confused.
There's a cow in front of the door. What do you do?
He will become Polish dancing cow.
I feel like it'd be more confusing if they just found a cow upstairs.
So, you have this plan for more or less what to do. Like, what's the timing on this? Because you have literally no information other than the captain claimed to Goras that he is apparently at the moment in the city. Which,
Yes.
may or may not sound awfully convenient.
How would we know he's going to be in that house?
The cult claimed that they were going to lead an elaborate trail of clues that would lead them to it. They also said they claimed they would do that, not that they have done that.
Of course, they also seem to have no idea who the hell you were talking about.
I still don't know the full situation here, to be honest.
If they can't find us now, we can just sleep down here. And then go there tomorrow, after clues have been placed.
One of the guards runs by, and
The clues have been placed!
he kind of freezes, as you said, when the clues have been placed, and he turns around and very quietly walks away.
I guess I will give Goras the present that I brought for him.
What is this?
I have no idea.
He hands you a robe that has,
It's a pretty robe that I thought you would enjoy.
seems to be sheets of silver foil have been adhered onto this dark purple robe.
It's the
It does look
highest
like a very
quality I've
comfortable
done.
robe.
Yeah, put it on. I have no reason to doubt it.
Feels warm. It is already uncomfortably warm down here, but you know, the rope feels warm.
Yeah, I did feel chilly earlier though.
You did, yes.
Oh,
Thank
there
you
go.
for thinking.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. He's such a good friend.
Yes, he is.
He heard you needed not chili, and he's been gone for 3 hours.
That was just to avoid the bloodbath that he was pretty sure was about to ensue.
It almost did.
I think Solaire is the
Culpable
most.
deniability.
As if on cue, Goras and Solaire's amulets burn biting cold.
Yeah, I wrap it in the clothes too. We're supposed to keep these on, right? I think I asked that.
I don't know.
I guess we're leaving now.
Yours is perfectly fine. Oh shit.
Well, they didn't know I existed, so.
Exactly.
That may be why.
Oh, I have a present for you too.
Do you?
Yes.
Being?
These look sufficiently ugly and torturous that you might like them.
It appears to be a doll that has been formed out of a crudely stitched, like, pig's bladder and stuffed with sand.
Does this have the soul of an
It has a
orphan
little,
It
it has a little smiley face painted on it.
There's a little thing that has the soul of an orphan in it.
How would you determine if it had a soul of an orphan in
I
it?
don't know.
It does look like the kind of thing you would put the soul of an orphan in if you had the opportunity.
From my experience in the last week, likenesses of children have souls of orphans in them.
That's fair.
I
On
mean,
the back
if it
is-
doesn't, it will.
On the back are written some squiggles, which look maybe like magic runes if you squint vaguely, but as you actually know what magic is, you're aware that these are not magic runes.
Do I know what this doll is?
Did Solaire tell you what it is?
I was only half paying attention. Something about gastrointestinal distress.
He really thinks of everybody. I imagine it's bad in your age.
Boris concentrates on it really hard. His eyes kind of cross a bit, and he casts Detect Magic silently.
There is no magic on this doll.
No, there's no souls in that.
Oh,
There's
Fairly
nothing.
certain there
It's very
wasn't.
empty.
it's extremely disappointing.
How about the robe?
There is no
Put
magic on
somebody's
the
soul
robe
in
either.
there.
Yeah,
Good,
I'm
it's
sure
not
the jar
cursed.
of oil is
No souls in
perfectly
this.
fine too.
What about the crap he bought?
Do you detect magic on the crap that he bought? If
I mean,
you
it's
chose
30
it to.
feet.
It's on himself, so everything within 30
Yeah.
feet shiny.
Yep. So, magic items that you were aware of previously, of course, are going to shine with magic. Some of the things around you shine with a little magic. Like there's the little trinkets on the walls, which are effectively just power focuses. Anything that you would find surprising.
Oh, this necklace is full of souls.
it is very magic. Gosh, would an amulet against detection look magic, or would it just look like anti-magic? Would it just look like black?
Seems counterintuitive.
I'm sure
there
just
are-
rules as written, it would just look
There are
as
enchantments
magic.
to hide magic or
Yeah.
That depends. Is Detect Magic definitive?
I mean,
Divination.
this whatever the items ordinarily function as, these specifically are worded against things other than just divination magic.
Yeah, Detect Magic is divination, so it would be
So
hidden from.
yeah.
So I guess I wouldn't say that.
So you don't see it.
These
There are no
amulets
souls in these
There's no
amulets.
necklace, no souls in it.
There is a tile on the floor that is outlined in magic.
That one has a soul in it.
In
It's just the floor.
outlined in abjuration magic.
It's very protecting souls.
Solaire's oils are not magical though.
Nanny, where does
Is
this
that
tile
loose?
lead to?
You have no idea what he's talking about. It's
Did
a
you
tile.
buy booze, Sawyer? In that vial?
Booze? No.
Yeah.
No, it's oil.
Oh. I've got lots of oil.
In case
You're
we
just
need-
asking me for some.
Well, it was on sale.
Oh, I see.
Got a deal.
Gotcha. Okay. Maybe I should stock up on some oil.
I guess Solaire's going to go look at this tile that Goraz
Okay.
is
That
pointing
one
at.
right there.
That one right there. Yes.
This tile.
It's haunted. Okay.
Can you give me a proficiency with thieves' tools check?
Let's see. I have expertise on that.
What's stat modifier?
Dexterity.
So That'd be 14 plus 3 plus 6, 23.
Okay. With your fine tools, you are able to get a pick under the lip of the tile and able to create just enough of a gap that you can get your thinnest pry bar in there and lever up the tile. And underneath there is looks like a little tunnel that just disappears into darkness. And a gas wafts up from it, which glows magically with abjuration and then just kind of dissipates into the room.
You are truly chosen.
I told you it was haunted.
Yes.
It's a shame it's not like a rune of fireball that you could just frisbee at somebody.
Yes, the best defense for our cult is to walk on runes of fireball. This would be the cult for that to be the case. That's the level of
So is
planning they have.
the little tunnel big enough to crawl in, walk
Would
in?
be big enough for maybe something as big as a bullfrog to go down. Nothing bigger.
Ah, that's
Yep. The gas that wafts up, it wafts up in little additional puffs, and it
Okay, fine. I polymorph him into a bullfrog.
you polymorph into a bullfrog. The magic,
kind of polymorph me into like a rat or something.
if you smell it,
actually.
it deadens your senses just a tad. It's a little harder to see, a little harder to smell, a little harder to hear for just a few seconds, and then as you breathe regular air again, your senses return. As a bullfrog, it's considerably worse. It kind of makes you blind in one eye, deaf in one of your little ear holes. You lose your sense of tone.
Do I see anything down there? Is there light at the end of the tunnel?
It looks like a metal pipe that bends off at about a 45-degree angle, so you cannot see now. Would you like to go into the death tunnel, Ashik?
What? No, I turned him into a bullfrog.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you turned yourself into a bullfrog.
Oh, no, I'm the
He's one who
bullfrog
seems
then.
Oh,
interested in
okay.
it.
You may go in, Solaire, if you wish. You're now small enough to.
Into the death tunnel.
Is
Yes.
it labeled the death tunnel? 'Cause maybe not at that point.
Well, we need to know these things.
Did we?
The chosen one pointed to the tile.
Did we not have a friend that needed to find something out and
It's haunted.
now he's gone?
Okay, he deliberately did something we were told specifically not to do.
Did anybody? Don't go into the death tunnel.
Nobody. You don't know that you're not supposed to go into the death tunnel.
Also, he's a frog.
Yeah.
Can't talk to you.
Fine, go to the death tunnel. But if you die as a frog, you're going to expand into a person in a death tunnel because
So-
of a frog. So have fun with that.
You do have the mentality of a
Oh yeah.
bullfrog.
My frog.
You're giving him these intensive, specific instructions. He's just kind of sitting there.
Ribbit.
Ribbit.
I don't think as a frog.
I kind of nudge him toward the death tunnel just so he's reminded what he really wanted to do.
You have a vague sense of your personality, so you know not to eat Gorass. That's, that's about as far as being a bullfrog.
bullfrog. Am I that would even be a thing?
Bullfrogs are vicious. They would eat people if they could.
Well,
You
that's
just know
true.
better.
I also know the bullfrog would not want to be in this bright room surrounded by all these people, so the
Yeah.
bullfrog would probably go down inside the hole
That makes sense.
or hop away.
And being a bullfrog, you care very little about the dulling of your senses. And you just kind of writhe your way down the tunnel.
Okay, we're going down the tunnel.
It goes only a
Well,
short
he's dead.
It goes only a short ways.
This is your fault.
Maybe 20 feet before you plop into a tank full of a liquid that's about as viscous as pudding, I suppose. You just kind of slap down onto the surface of it.
Is it as tasty as pudding?
To a bullfrog.
You scoop
You
some
lost
up,
your sense of tongue.
you scoop some up in your
So-
mouth, and you're pretty numb by this point. So being a bullfrog, you just appreciate the visceral sensation of swallowing substances. And so that's you feel
Bullfrogs do love swallowing substances.
you are moderately content as far as bullfrogs go.
Why
It's
did you
nice
turn
and
him into a frog?
it's nice
Set
and
down
it's
the
like
floor?
you're being submerged in very warm mud, which makes bullfrogs pretty much the happiest
Yes.
possible.
The bullfrog is content there.
But as soon as you are completely submerged, you turn back into Salir, and then you realize you have some tasteless slime filling your mouth and throat, and that's not terribly pleasant.
There used to be a toilet attached to that other end of that.
No.
Are you sure?
I think I'll spit the slime out.
You spit the slime out, and you find yourself in a big metal basin, a big copper basin, and
Can't be good.
you are in what appears to be a laboratory. There are little benches and shelves stocked with all kinds of chemicals and
I can see
glowing
through.
rocks.
I'm sitting in a basin, or
Yes.
I'm surrounded by a basin.
You are sitting in a basin.
Okay.
There is a big funnel up above you through which you came, and thick vapor rises all around you. Your eyesight is fairly heavily diminished.
Do I see any people in this room?
There are many sources of light though, because there are candles and there are glowing rocks, and vapor rises from the slime, and it gets sucked into the pipe up above through which you came, and you see the law wizard Salonius looking at you in surprise from a little stool at which he is mixing a couple chemicals together. Says, "Can I help you?"
I suppose I will get out of the basin.
Look, well, how did you get there?
Magic.
Yeah, that's fair. Can I help you with anything?
No.
I have tea if you'd like some tea, I guess.
No, we found this small tunnel underneath a tile in the room upstairs.
Oh, you found one of my emergency valves, yeah.
So they sent me down here to see where it went, and I suddenly ended up in there.
Oh, yeah, you're going to want to take this, otherwise you might get cancer. And he mixes a few things together, and he shoves a mug full of a bright pink liquid at you.
It's
It-
Pepto.
It tastes like lemons. I don't know why.
You go ahead and take
But
this.
it'll ward away the cancer.
At this point, Goris has gotten bored and he's gonna send to
Okay.
Salir. It's like, are you there yet?
I just assume he's dead.
Let's see, how many? I got 25
Do we
words.
hear voices coming from down there?
You do hear voices
Why don't
coming
you
from
just
down
talk to
there.
him? He's right there.
I don't have to raise my voice like this.
I'm with the law mage.
I'm going to bed.
Nine just kind of phases into unconsciousness as he tends to.
I'll be back up there in a few minutes.
We're clearly not doing anything important till tomorrow.
The mage says, "Yeah, I've been working on an anti-magic serum that I think we can turn into bombs and maybe fire through hoses at our enemies. That is one component of it. It's activated when you mix it with a reagent, and then it has a lifespan of about an hour. At the moment, the bulk of it, the body of it, it only really dulls the senses. If you drench somebody with it, their heads specifically, then they'd go blind for a few seconds. You wouldn't happen to want to help me test it out, would you? Perhaps. I know you're going to do something. The anti-magic isn't properly a usable tool, so I'm not going to say use this as part of your plan. But maybe you could help me test it out.
I would be happy to help you test this out.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. I will get that sorted for you before you leave. Is there any particular way you'd like to apply it? I could make it into bombs. I could maybe make some arrowheads that do something with it, I suppose.
Well, if we're going to be fighting in a house, probably not going to be using a bow.
Oh, I see. Why are you fighting in a house?
I don't know. We were told to go kill people in a house.
Okay. I've gone on house duty before.
I have absolutely no. I don't know what we're doing. I just do.
Well, the door's over there. It goes into the sewer. I'm sorry. I could turn you into something to crawl back up. Usually I turn into something when I'm going around, or I use my familiar to do it. Would you like to go through the sewer, or would you like to, I don't know, become a rat or something?
I'd rather just go back up.
Okay. He points you to the secret door that leads back into the sewer, and you can take that back to the back entrance.
Okay.
And we're going to end there for tonight.
Alright.
Wow.
Thank you for running, Taylor.
You're welcome. Thank you for playing.
Thank you.
We should end every session just apologizing to Taylor, not thanking him.
I think we should end every session Taylor apologizing.
Thank you for the game, Taylor. We're sorry.
You're welcome. And thanks personally, okay?